Well, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, my friends, all across the globe today, and welcome, finally, to Hope Harbor Zoo. Yes, so, okay, we should probably talk about what happened. In case of you're just tuning in here without watching, like, the previous video, unfortunately, I did lose Hope Island Zoo. I didn't actually lose it. More or less, I kind of had my last backup be before the actual entrance build, and we've already done so much since then that I'm like kind of defeated. So I'm kind of like, all right, listen, I'm already getting too cramped on this island. I want to, have a little bit more of a change. So I'm kind of like, let's move. And it's kind of a big decision, all right? Because there's a lot of factors at play here when I did make that decision. First of all, I put out a poll in ZSU. Hold on, let me actually grab that from my actual press room. So I put out a poll, and an overwhelming majority of you guys really wanted me to move. And I honestly see that, because Hope Island, it was a beautiful little piece of property. It was a great time all around. But unfortunately, we did kind of outgrow it with our collection. We started to get a jaguar, we started to get ocelots, and before we knew it, it was kind of a little bit too big of a project for us to work on for the size of the island that we did have. So I've been fiddling around with my buddies with the idea of Hope Harbor, which would be kind of like a satellite park back on the mainland, where I would keep like all my larger animals and stuff like that, like hoofstock. But I kind of opted instead to move the entire park. And I'm kind of happy with it so far, because I've been working on it for a solid, I don't know, a week now. And it's turning out so freaking nice. Oh my gosh, I'm so excited about it. So either way, I want to actually just screenshot this over here. Okay, and then I will drag it right back in here. And hopefully, I could actually show it off to all you guys. Once we actually do get there, just hold out for a little bit. I'm just going to keep talking because my Adobe crashed. I'm just going to load in here again because I'm already too far in here. But either way, Hope Harbor Zoo. We should probably talk about what we have planned for it. So today we're just working on the entrance. It's nothing really too crazy. I'm kind of happy with it so far. I did outlay a lot of the work, not a lot of it, but a good chunk of the buildings over there to Lion. He's a really good friend and a really excellent builder, and I am so excited to see what he's able to do with some like the bigger entrance buildings. So that's all going to be fine and dandy right there. I'm very excited to see what he actually pulls out for us. I gave him some indicators. And because of that, we're also going to promise him some jaguar offspring. Which, by the way, we do have jaguar. I have not yet built for them. Hopefully I can do that relatively soon. But you guys will just have to keep an eye out for that. Also coming up right here is the actual, press room release of my little poll that I put out. I hope you guys are kind of hope you guys are excited to see that I did have a little bit of community involvement with that one. So, I don't know. I'm just very excited to see that you guys are all responsive, especially so many of you guys. We almost have 68. I'm going to turn that to 69 for the funny number. But either way, we already have, all this support from all of you guys. So, it's really freaking awesome to see just how many of you guys really did care about this project. I really did love Hope Island, but it really was just going in a direction that I could not maintain. But I think all the plans that we have for this zoo are a lot better. So what I'm working on over here, I should actually probably talk about the build, is the dock area. And of course, listen, I could not shake the idea that I couldn't build on an island. I was too excited to do it again, and I'm using the Japan map this time around because it really does provide such an awesome kind of layout. Because we have multiple islands, we have all this water in between, and it's just really funky. So we're kind of working with all of that as a little bit of constraints, but we still have a lot more leeway, and definitely a lot more leeway than we had with Hope Island. I'm very excited about it because we have all this space, and I'm already building so much. At the time of recording this, I already do have about 4 speed builds already lined up. And I do have, 3 more actually in development. So we're working on all of this simultaneously. You may see, in the background of some speed builds, like some other stuff that you probably haven't seen yet, and that's all intentional. I want to make sure that I have everything in a speed build format for all of you guys, but most and foremost, I do want to make sure that I get all my species on display. And that's easily the biggest roadblock that I kind of ran into with this, is the fact that we kind of had all of our animals reset. What that means is that they are no longer on display, which means that we can no longer trade or interact with the community. This is pretty awful, because I love to trade. That's how I got most of my species and whatnot. So that's something that we really do need to work on, and that's why I'm going so ham with like all of this in my free time. I'm kind of just like, trying to bang out a couple habitats here and there, and it's mostly on the insects and fish and herptiles, which is actually really good because we have a lot of mixed species exhibits with them. It all works out very fine and dandy over there. I'm very excited to see how all that turns out. But essentially, I really wanted to get like the initial entrance going, or at least outlining it first. So I was very inspired off of Jurassic World. For some reason, I know it's very strange for like, a nice zoo in New England. By the way, this is based in Maine. I couldn't shake New England, so I really wanted to make sure that I was staying there. Because, I don't know, I just really did feel like a nice connection with the area, and it was just so fun to build for in the past. So I'm kind of just like, you know what, yeah, we're gonna stay here. Also doing lighting throughout this entire zoo, it's gonna be so nice. Oh my gosh, so excited to see how you guys react to it. But yeah, we're gonna be doing so much of that stuff all throughout here. But yeah, we are up in Maine, so the temperature really isn't that different. It's southern Maine, so it's essentially Massachusetts. So it's not really too different from the weather that we had in Hope Island. So we do still need a plan for winters, we still do need a plan for that kind of stuff, but it really shouldn't be all that bad because, I don't know, we just make a few indoor holdings, and I wanted to do that anyways because they're kind of fun to make when they're not, like, the worst to make. But making our way throughout here and starting work on the actual staff area, because I did want to make sure that we do have that stuff right off the bat. We do have all these elements of realism, and yeah, that's essentially it. I'm also working on some, fencing for the area as well, just to make sure that we do keep these areas feeling as fleshed out as possible. And we already do have so many plans. I should probably talk about these plans because I've been wanting to talk about them for like, about 7 minutes. Anyways, we have a few different sections in Hope Harbor. How many times am I going to mess that up? Someone needs to keep track. But anyways, we do have a bunch of different plans for Hope Harbor. So essentially, we have a lot of different areas. Number one, we do have a very robust South American collection. So we are going to be calling that area Once a Lifetime. So in case if you guys don't know, the scientific name for the jaguar is Panthera onca. And I thought it was kind of cheeky to call it Once a Lifetime. I keep on trying to say once in a lifetime, but I guess that's kind of the point of it. But yeah, it's supposed to be Once a Lifetime, like a Once a Lifetime experience. I keep on messing it up. I'm so sorry. So that's essentially where we're going to keep all of our South American animals, or at least most of them. So moving on from there, I also have a lot more different areas. We do have Island of Color, which you guys may remember as Islands of Color. Instead, it's based entirely on its own little island. I'm so excited for you guys to see that speed build because it's so adorable. But we have a whole bunch of herptiles and insects in there, and it's really freaking cool so far. We have a very robust Madagascar collection now, so I'm very excited to see how all that's going to turn out. I also have, just a few on and off habitats here and there. And we also do have Waters of the World. And that's going to be our aquatic center. And I will try and do another underwater aquatic observatory again. I had so much fun with the other one that I'm just like, you know what? We got to do another one because there's so much more fun to build. But yeah, that'll essentially be the goal for that. And I will bring back Farm to Table for all of you Foxborough Zoo fans. Trust me, it's probably not dead. I don't know, I really haven't gotten back to it in quite some time, but it's sitting there. Gotta get back to it. I really haven't been working on it all too much, but trust me, it's there. But we're going to be integrating a lot more of those ideas back into here, so we're going to have a whole idea based around, like, barns and, like, agriculture and how food kind of made its way throughout human civilization and stuff like that. Oh no, I'm kind of ironing out those ideas, but we'll get there when we actually do get there. But essentially what we're working on right now is our flamingo habitat. This one was wicked fun to build, but I do only have lessers, so do keep that in mind. It's going to be very, very big for that. The lessers are smaller than the size of a human, which is very crazy to see. I think maybe in this speed build, you'll actually see, like, one of the keepers walking by the lessers, and they only come up to, like, his hip or something like that. It's very crazy to see. They're very tiny in real life, too, which I think is adorable. But essentially working our way throughout here, and I want to have a little waterfall area. So I kind of have this little dropping down waterfall back over here. And I don't know, I was just very happy with it. So it's very segmented. You have a bunch of different parts of it over here. And I really wanted this to welcome you in. Just as a way to help it feel like, you're going on this beautiful, beautiful adventure. You're going into, like, this nice naturalistic area. And I really wanted to adjourn that with, like, a bunch of waterfalls, a bunch of nice faux rock work. Because Hope Island Zoo did get a lot of grants from both Gateway Zoo and Gottfriedberg Zoo, both run by Forge and Dorian respectively, which, by the way, in case if you guys do want to donate to me, like, fake currency in ZSU, feel free to do that, because, listen, Lord knows we're going to need it, because we're doing this entire thing from scratch. But either way, we're kind of working a little bit more on this waterfall and trying to make it feel a little bit more organic within the, general area, so we're using a lot more faux rocks. And I think it's coming out very nicely. We also kind of hide it a little bit up there with a fallen tree trunk as a way to act like it's a little bit of a vent place where water kind of comes out of. You'll see it when we actually do get there. And another thing that I do include over here is a way for the water to not really disrupt the rest of the area. So I do use a little bit of mesh, and I do use a little bit of, nice faux rockery as a way to help it feel like, it's... The water comes down. I'm sorry, guys. It's like... I'm very much trying to make my way through this speed build. So essentially the waterfall comes down, and it hits all these faux rocks, so it kind of nullifies the flow of the water. So once it hits the rocks, it will kind of, like, not cause much ripples in the water and stuff like that. So that's essentially the goal of that little area down there. And there's a little tunnel right up there. It looks so good when it's all finished. Hope you guys are excited for that. I have the B-roll at the end. I know, it's so exciting. But we're also working on custom curbs. And this is a little something that I am stealing right out of Los Monsteros, which, by the way, it's not dead. Trust me, it is not dead. I just need to get the inspiration for it. And of course, this really didn't help either, where I kind of have to go through the entire thing and, redo everything. But long story short, I'm still having a lot of fun with it. So there's no harm, no foul. So I'm kind of making my way throughout this entire build and adding all these little curbs everywhere, just as a way to help it feel a little bit more built up. And have it feel a little bit more like a proper zoo. Because, Hope Island, I didn't really do custom curbs in. It kind of got to the point where if I did start to do them, it would have eaten up, like, an entire chunk of my time. So I'm just happy I'm able to do it as I go along with this zoo. Because it really does help it so much more. I really want to give each section their own kind of curbs as well. I'm saying that now, so I actually make myself do it. We'll probably keep that kind of curb style for the South America section, but I know Island of Color, maybe I should have, like, rainbow curbs, maybe kind of, like, painted and stuff like that. I feel like that would be wicked awesome to have. But making our way throughout here and adding a little bit more foliage just as a way to help it, like, frame itself a little bit better. We're gonna try and make this area feel as tropical as possible while using our taiga plants. So do keep in mind we are in Maine. While bamboo can grow in Maine, I have seen it in many places up there, we still are restricted to a somewhat more limiting foliage palette, so we do need to work our way around that. That's going to be something to take into account when we are working our way through that. because we got to be very careful with it. We got to make sure that we keep this still immersive, but we also need to, take into account the surrounding area and the surrounding landscape and geography and stuff. So that's something that we will keep an eye out for, but I don't know, I think we're able to achieve it very well with all the plants at our roster. Also, over here, we are getting to work on the little viewing gallery. Nothing really too crazy. I want a nice little gazebo over here, but essentially working our way throughout here and trying to make it feel as modern as possible. Again, that's going to be a very key defining feature of Hope Harbor, is keeping everything modern. So we're doing everything very nice and very clean, first of all. So we're kind of working with nice bright colors. We originally used orange, but I really wasn't feeling it. So we do opt it out for, I think, a green. Either a green or a blue, I actually forget. But you could see how much I was lagging right there. I was trying to figure out how I could effectively do a nice roof. But I do settle on using the trim pieces and doing kind of like, something that Haribo would do. I know it's very crazy, but we were able to achieve that. And you know what? I'm very proud of us for doing so. So making our way throughout here and adding some more elements over here just to help it feel a little bit more secure. Adding these like centralized beam pieces as a way to help it feel a little bit more secure as well. And we also get to work on, I don't know what we do over here. Yeah, I think we actually work on trying to connect all the areas together and doing the little triangles in between. So when you do use a mud pillar technique, you always need to take into account like, how everything will rotate and doing them in segments and really trying to make sure that you're able to achieve like a nice symmetrical product in the end. And you know what? I think we're able to do that pretty damn well. So you can see just how well we're able to do that. And I'm kind of hopping in between projects here. I do apologize. This is something I'm going to be doing a lot in this series, is not really focusing on one thing in particular just to get a speed build done. Say, for example, the otter speed build. In between that, and maybe you'll even see some cuts if I'm, a little bit too lazy, of me working on, like, the aquatic center in there. I'm not working on this in chronological order. That is something to keep in mind. I cannot do that for the life of me. I really needed to do what was... Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, my coffee's, like, attacking me right now. I really needed to focus on what was inspiring me the most at any given point. And I think I actually do that pretty well. We really haven't had any dead time in between builds, because I've been working tirelessly on really trying to get this back up to snuff as soon as possible. And it's just working extremely well, and I'm very happy about it. I don't know, it's just, I feel so inspired now that we actually had to restart this build. It really is incredible just to see how long... No, what am I trying to say here? How... restricted I was on Hope Island, and how much Hope Harbor is just such a better inspiration in terms of building. And it's just really incredible just to see that we're giving all these beautiful virtual animals just such a better life than what they had on Hope Island. And it really is super fun just to see how well it all turns out. Also, I keep this pond relatively white at the start, but I think we do opt in for like a brighter blue color later down the line, just as a way to help it feel a little bit more vibrant. I really wasn't feeling like the white anyways, but Nick was able to help me out and kind of give me some pointers to help it feel a little bit more vibrant, a little bit more zoo-like, so that's awesome right there. We're also adding some smaller elements of realism in here with some dead leaves, so we do a bunch of that, and we also do a bunch of decals as well, and we're also adding some foliage as we go on throughout this. If I really narrated every single thing that I'm doing over here, I'd be, like, talking, like, look at that periwinkle, look at that periwinkle, look at that periwinkle flower I just put down, But, anyways, trying to think of what else I could really say about this. I don't know, I'm just very excited about the prospect of Hope Harbor Zoo in the future, because we really do have so much that we're able to do now, and it really is incredible just to see, the support you guys are giving, especially with, like, how excited you guys are about, like, the new updates, like, the new projects and stuff like that. In fact, I should probably show off the Flamingo Press Room post. I want to show that off right now, if I could just get a nice little screenshot of that. Very excited to see how you guys react to all of this. It's going to be really awesome. Just to have all you guys, like, appreciate what's happening with the island and seeing where we're going to go from there. So, a few notable changes that I already see is that Island of Color. It won't focus entirely on island species. We're going to have, like, a very keen focus on them. But it's going to definitely centralize a lot more around color than islands. So we're gonna go for animals that have like colors in their names, like, common brown lemur. We're gonna have blue-eyed black lemur, hopefully. Knock on wood, I really hope I get those. But making our way throughout here, we're gonna have like, farm to table, which is, we really didn't have room for a petting zoo before. I'm keeping Raptor Ridge. I was so excited about that, and I really do want to recreate those aviaries. Maybe not one for one, but I do want to kind of keep that vibe of them. Just nice, big, open aviaries. I feel like that'll be wicked awesome to have. And look at that beautiful roof. I'm so proud of that. I should probably go back and, like, change out the colors a little bit more. Just have it feel a little bit more cooler. But going on throughout here and adding some details to the actual building itself. I apologize, some stuff gets cut out, unfortunately. But we're kind of working our way throughout it and adding as many details as possible. I was very inspired by Zoov and Wilmington Zoo as a way, which is Zoov's zoo, as a way to kind of get a new building palette going. So we're kind of working a lot with that, and I don't know, I'm just really, really digging it. It feels a lot more brighter, it feels a lot more colorful, and I'm very satisfied with how well it's turning out in the end. Also adding more trim, because you can never have enough trim, and I don't know, I really love this lawn area. Because I feel like we didn't really have enough room for green space back on Hope Island. And being able just to have like this nice open area where I didn't have to put any exhibits, where I didn't have to put anything. It just felt so awesome just really like be able to do that and be able to like bring in these elements of like openness and giving the guests a little bit of room to breathe and stuff like that. I was very excited to do that. So it really is awesome just to see all of that come into play. And we're also adding some more custom trims in here, just making sure that everything looks nice and tidy. The little black represents grout, so that's a way to kind of inlay some bricks and have it feel like it's supposed to be there. It makes it feel like it's a little bit more secure. I have this little entrance area right here. I don't know what to put here just yet. I keep it green for now, and I throw like, maybe a tree in there later. I don't know when I actually end up doing that. I don't even know if it's in there right now, but that will be relatively, and I kind of want to do like a custom statue in there, maybe. I feel like that would be very fun, but making our way throughout here, and making some stuff, obviously this entire zoo is making stuff. But adding the roof to the building over here, and I was kind of trying to separate it from the rest of the build, so we work with that, and I think I changed it to like green or something, as a way to have it feel a little bit more bright, of course. I'm not sure if I'll keep the green. I do need to go back and do like custom like gutters and stuff like that, as a way to have it feel a little bit more organic. And I do need to go back and add like some lines to that, because in my mind that is corrugated metal. And I do want to make sure that it has that kind of effect on it. So we're going to be working on that later down the line. But oh my gosh, who would have thought we're finally in the B-roll. Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate the support all along the way. It really is so sad that, we did lose Hope Island, but we didn't lose hope. And that's the important thing. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you all in the next video. Take care and have the most wonderful of wonderful days. Bye-bye now.